What you know is what you've been told. So if you have a view of, say, Trump or Biden, it's only based on what you've been told. So you need to ask yourself, who is portraying these people to me? And what are their agendas? And acknowledge that all you know is what they show you, not what they edit out of the story. I think it's just dangerous to inherently trust government to tell you the truth. They also have an agenda. They also have motivation so that you like them and that you trust them and that you do as they say and that you don't challenge. Media as well. So if the media has a certain ideology, that's going to be what they present. And they're going to then denigrate or criticize opposing ideologies. It's just that simple. It's like a religion. If you go to a Christian church, they're not going to preach the tenets of Islam or Buddhism. They're going to preach the tenets of their religion. Be careful with your belief systems because they're based on things that were told to you by people you trusted. Your belief systems didn't come from people you didn't trust because whoever you don't trust, you don't believe. So if you work backwards, if you have a belief in a vaccine, that means you trusted the institutions that sold you that vaccine and that convinced you to believe in it. And then you need to go one step further and investigate these institutions and understand that they're not as squeaky clean and as wholesome as you might believe. They may not have your best interest at heart. They may have their best interest at heart. And there may be financial motivations. There may be political motivations. Humans have this trust in the goodness of government, the trust in the goodness of media, and the goodness of big pharma. And that just shows naivete. Because if the truth is the opposite, that government, media, and especially big pharma just want to sell you and convince you of an idea, of a concept, of an ideology, then they don't have your best interest at heart. They have their best interest at heart. Most humans have their own best interest at heart. They're not trying to convince you of ideologies that they don't believe in. They're trying to convince you and keep you trusting in them and their ideology and their agenda. Whatever you believe, work backwards and trace why do you believe that? Who told you that? And why did they tell you that? There's two sides to every story. So it was crazy during the mandate that we only ever heard one side of the story. And anyone who was vaccine injured or anyone who just questioned it or was critical of it was demonized versus allowed a platform to at least offer the other side of the story, the second side of the story. So that was a dangerous predicament that the population, the masses, had allowed themselves, they complied in believing in one side of a story from some of the most untrustworthy sources in our culture, and that's government, media, which are private corporations with a bottom line, and big pharma. So just as you go through life, if you have a belief about a person, place, or thing, work backwards, trace it back to see why you have that belief, who told you, who convinced you to have that belief, and why.